Hey YouTube, Mike the Rinnai guy here. How we all doing today? Hope we all had a safe and productive week and we're all being safe out there. Okay, today's video is going to be on the Rinnai CU-199 commercial unit. This unit was designed by Rinnai, the Sensei model. They did have a C199, but this is now the black version is the Sensei version. So that's the one that you can get it with the 2-inch. You could use the U-bank 5-inch venting, or it has the collar on it like from the RUR-199 that has the 2-inch and then a 2-inch fresh air inlet. Normally this would be capped off if you're going to use the U-bank venting. But it is the commercial unit. So it is for commercial use only. It is not to be installed in a residential home. Because of the temperature. The temperature comes 140 out of the box. It can go up to 180. So we install these in restaurants and hotels. They also have this unit mated to their 119-gallon storage tank, which becomes their demand duo. So this unit is mounted to a 119-gallon insulated storage tank. Below it has a pump, controller, the valve kit, other doodads. We'll be doing a video on that in the near future. That it could be used like we have them in hotels. We'll have 2 or 3 of them together. This can also be used for their rack system. So Rinnai will take 2, 3, 4 of these, multiple ones. They could be in a line, they could be back to back, they could be next to each other for 2. And they're all piped in. All you got to do is bring gas, cold water, hot water, plug it in, put up some kind of venting. They could be put up on a roof. They could be brought into a building before opening during construction. And instead of you mounting a whole bunch of them on the wall, Rinnai does that for you, makes the job a little easier. All right, today's video is going to be on a code 15. Which I've had a few of my own. I've had a few for service, and I've had 2 emails about them. So I figured let me do this video to show what it entails. A code 15, and let me grab my screwdriver here. A code 15 is there's a problem with the venturi, and that's right up in here at the gas valve is the venturi. This is the gas valve right here. This is actually a motor that drives, and when we take it apart, you'll see it almost looks like the throttle body of a carburetor. So basically, as this thing is vamping up, so it's going through from low fire to high fire, this motor modulates air from the fan, okay, so either from the concentric venting or from the air. It all goes through this box up here, through the fan, and then right down, and this is the burner right here, the top fired ceramic burner, and it mixes with the gas, which is this pipe right here, and makes combustion. So there's a problem with the venturi. Now, I'm going to show you that this was a problem with the venturi because I did not have a new gas valve, and I actually had to salvage out of this condemned unit temporarily until I can get a gas valve, and it worked. So this here, what's here, this gas valve is a failed unit piece. So we'll show you. All right, so what does this entail? First thing you want to do when you have this code 15 is you want to check the wiring. Make sure that the plugs, this plug right here is the plug for the gas valve. This plug right here is the plug for the motor for the modulating shutter. And you want to check that wiring. Now, also what you want to look at on all of these new units, there's this filter. Now, I showed it on the CU-199. It's the same filter. You want to check this filter to make sure and see how dirty it is. Also, take a peek up in here with a flashlight and see how that's dirty up there. Because this will tell you what could be in the venturi. So now, we deem it's a gas valve. What do we got to do? First thing you want to do is you want to unplug the unit. Get it out of the circuit. Next thing you want to do is shut the gas off. You don't need to shut off the water, but shut the gas off. All right, now you're off. So we got to start taking wires off this unit. Now, again, like I explained in other videos, Rinnai's wiring harness will only mate up with its pair. You cannot put, say, one of these into a similar size into another one. It won't fit. PC board, control board, nothing. They all fit into another, its mated pair. If it doesn't fit, don't force it. It's not meant to go there. Okay? All right. So, first thing we want to do is we want to unplug the gas valve. Then we want to take off the flame sensor and the igniter. Then we want to unplug the actuator. Now, what I suggest to do is to remove the igniter. And it's one screw. We're going to take the camera off and show you. It's one screw back here that will take the igniter off. And then there is a plug, small plug, right on it, right here. You push that little white tab and the wire comes off. Now you have the igniter and put it somewhere safe. What I do is I set up my DeWalt table, and that's where I put everything either in my, with something like this, I use 2 magnetic trays. So now you have your gas valve, your actuator, your sensor, and the igniter. Now we need to take these 2 wires off. One's a pressure. You want to take off your little wire ties here. There's 2 of them. Get the wire out. You have this pressure sensor in here for the flue. Put it to the side. Then you have the fan power. So now there's no more. That's it. That's all you have. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that go to this. Then you have 1, which is the sensor, and the igniter is 2 from here. You just want to get these out of the way. It has nothing to do with the equation. The igniter does, but you want to get this out of the way. And you don't want the igniter just hanging here. Take it off, put it to the side. It is sensitive. All right, now the screws. First thing, down here, there is it's a similar clip like from the water servo valve to remove the water servo valve or the heat exchanger. One screw. Now you're going to find this code 15 on external units, not internal. I mean, I've had them on internal, but most of them have been on external units and stuff that is close to the water. So this is the screw that holds in the gas valve retaining clip. And then you just turn this, pull it down, and it comes right off, and that's the retaining clip. That's the way exactly it goes. You push it on, you turn it back, it engages into the thread. This hooks onto the body of the gas valve. All right, so now your gas is disconnected. Now there's 3 screws up here that hold the fan, because you're going to remove this whole thing. So you're removing the fan too. there's 2 screws, 1 screw here, bottom left, bottom right, top center. Then there's indexing tabs for the fan when you put it back in. So I like to remove the first screw in the back, because that's going to be the one that most likely, if you lose it, if it falls, it's going to be a little hard to grab. Like I said, it's going to be a little hard to grab. There it goes. And this one. Then that one. Now, this will not fall out. It's not going to really fall down. There is a bracket in the back that's actually kind of supporting it. It's really there to bring the igniter out, but it's also holding the back of the fan. All right, so now your 3 screws are out. So now this whole unit will come out. Now remember, there is an air intake, a black plastic tube back here. That is the air intake. So you're going to first get it out of the gas, and then you're going to manipulate it right out. See, that's what's sitting back there. So now we need to remove this part from the fan. Okay, so let me put this down here. And let's get this camera moved over into another position here. I think we could see that now. All right. First thing I'd like to do is to index this tube. So I put a black line actually on the housing and here, because you're going to remove this tube. We need this. What's going to come with the new gas valve, I'm going to show you in 2 seconds once I remove the gas valve. So you're going to remove this tube. Check the tube, look inside of it. You see, this is the old tube. See how dirty it is in there? That's been getting a lot of junk in, and it has fouled up the venturi. So now, there's 4 screws on this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws. That's going to remove the gas valve and the venturi from the fan. The model number for the gas valve will be in the description below. Let me remove this and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm going to go through this whole gas valve assembly here. And there's the 4th screw. So now, this is the fan. You're going to get a new O-ring for the fan. And then here is the venturi. See how dirty it is? That's the venturi. And then to take off the motor here, I can then show you what's inside of it. This is like an actuator that opens and closes that air shutter. There it is. That's the shaft right here. It is. I'm going to grab a pair of pliers because I can't even move it with my hands. I'll go this way with it so you can see better. See what happens? That is non-movable. Now, I do not suggest to spray anything in that. Don't try to spray WD-40, liquid wrench, oil. Don't. I mean, if you maybe you can work it back and forth, but this should be finger tight. I mean, you should be able to turn it with your fingers, not with a pair of linesman's pliers. So, gas valve, venturi. Now, this is something else that you're going to have to realize. You're going to know what gas you have, because right here on the other side of this plate is the orifice. So in this case, this is propane. So you're going to need to know what gas you have so that you get the right orifice with it. And that's the orifice. The same as the CU-199. It's the same orifice, same conversion kit. And that's what's back there. So you got that back O-ring. Red is LP. Blue is natural gas. And if you look right on the right here, it says LP. And the other one will say NG. So you're going to get a new orifice with new gaskets. You're also going to get 4 new screws that mount the gas valve to the fan and that new gasket. So your orifice in there, your gasket with the ridge facing forward, just like that. And then you have 2 indexing screws, 2 indexing pins to index the plate. Just make sure you can see it's actually got the color and the gas type and your code in the front. If it's out there front, you're good to go. There's only really one way you're going to put this on. So here's the other booger. Now, you don't have to necessarily put your orifice in, out. So you could do this once it's mounted in the tankless. And if you want to convert this thing, all you got to do is swap it out to blue. Put the go into the parameters, reset it to the next gas, and you're good to go. All right, let's see here. Let's get the screws out because I moved this thing around. Here we go. All right. So then, now this is not going to come apart. It's not going to be apart when you get the new gas valve. Comes with that new motor. So what you're going to get is exactly what I'm holding in my hand with the motor on. All right, so you got this all done. Now, to put this back together, there's only going to be one way it's going to go on. There's 2 indexing lugs here, and if you see right now, I have it backwards. The screw holes do not match up. There's only one way it can go on. The 2 indexing lugs and all 4 screws are now in line with each other. You take your new screws Don't tighten, don't go crazy and tighten it up. Just hand tighten them until you get all 4 of them in. Alright, so I'll do that one. I'll do a cross. 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 Then this locks in. That on. I mean, as you can see, it's quite easy. All right, once I tighten this down, we put the new venturi gas valve actuator, all of it's back assembled. Now it's ready to go back into the unit. So let's get this camera back into the other position here. All right, so now we got to fish this back in. Best thing, got to get the tube in the back. Now, what you want to do is you want to put the gas valve in first. Don't try to get the... There we go. Gas is in. Now, you have this, again, there's 2 indexing lugs on the top. What I like to do is take the top center screw and get it in, because then that'll hold the top, the weight of it. Again, don't tighten it up, don't go nuts with it, just hand tighten it. Grab your other 2 screws, and these are the screws that you'll be using. I like to put the back one in, because again, that's going to be the hardest one. If you drop it, it's going to fall down back behind the heat exchanger. Do we see good? Yep. I'm going to take the camera off and show you in a minute. And then the front screw. All right, now I'm going to tighten, tighten. Okay, so now she's in. Now we got to just get the gas valve on. We take our clip, our screw. Let's see if I can zoom in here. Wait a second here. See if we're, oh, I just got to go up a little bit. There it is. Okay. So now this clip, you put it over the tube, push it up, and then turn it. It'll stay. Then you just get your and tighten your screw up. That's it. Now it's all back. All right. Now wiring. I like to go from the top. I'm going to take pressure switch, plug that right back into the pink. Take your fan motor, plug that in, get that back up into that wire tie, twist it. Now the top half is done. All right? Now we want to take our igniter. Do not forget to plug the igniter in, because if you do, you're going to be taking it out. Trust me, because I know. Gas valve, let's find. There's the igniter. We'll plug the igniter in, and then get it back behind the gas valve. It'll almost kind of like almost fall into place. Then take your screw, get it through the hole, and it'll just fall right in there. Now there's your igniter. Okay, so then we want to go back behind the wire, plug the igniter in. Plug the sensor in. Now you want to find your actuator and your gas valve. And that's the whole thing. Now let me take the camera off and I'll just go through and show you what we just did. All right, so that's one screw right there. Then there's the other screw. There's the other screw. There is the screw and that clip for the gas valve right there. There is the gas valve electric, actuator electric, sensor, igniter, your fan power, pressure switch, and then back here is the igniter. And there is the screw for the igniter right there. And then this here plate is where the orifice is. Okay. All right, now, since your power is reset, your power is off, when you plug it back in, it will reset back to a regular, you know, whatever you have this set at, say 140. That will then reset the system so that you can then go and test, you know, turn the gas back on, bleed it out, and then you can go and test the fixtures, make sure that it's all running good. Okay? All right, YouTube. Oh, let's, you know, I hope you got a bit out of this. This is a great unit. It's big engine, like a F-16 jet engine, man. That's what I consider it. It's a good engine, this thing. Does a lot of hot water. And again, during your service, your with these a quarterly service, every 3 months you should be doing it. Check this filter, and it's got a little bracket that goes right back in. Check that. Alrighty, here, let's go and do another tool video. Again, like I've told you, I am in love with Wera, and this here is a multi-screwdriver, Phillips regular, 8 bits. It activates by pushing this button to get to the bits, locks, and then when you pull this down, it extends to a longer screwdriver. You can get these all from KC Tools online. They are Wera, Weir, Stabile, bunch of German tool manufacturers. And I even have an angled one. Which is actually Torx. And here's my, it's ratcheting. So there's my forward and reverse. It's got Phillips and Torx bits in it, but I'm able to get into on a pretty much almost, I guess that would be considered a 75-degree angle. Once you get these tools, and once you start using these Wera, like this screwdriver, as you can see, is priceless for me. With the teeth that are machined into this tip, magnetic. I have one of those little magnetic where you run the tip of the screwdriver through. I mean, a lot of these screws are aluminum, so it don't matter what you got, but the teeth is what grabs into the actual Phillips of the screw, and it holds it in there. I mean, you can put a little compound on it, it'll hold it, but they're aluminum screws, so of course magnet's not going to help. Alright, YouTube, I hope you enjoyed this video. Next week I'm actually going to be using my whole same camera, but I got a new monitor. I got a wireless mic so that you could probably maybe hear me better. I got another light I'm going to be setting up. I like the way the video quality has come out with the new lighting, with the soft white bezels on it, so works out really nice. Alright, YouTube, again, I hope you enjoy your endless hot water, and my email will be below. You have a question, email, I'll shoot you my phone number, and we'll talk. Best time to call me is in the evening, anytime between like 5 and 6 Eastern time, because I'm in the state of Florida. Alright, YouTube, you all be safe out there, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye now.